Earlier, I gave you the first 5 rules of my 10 divorce breakup rules, and now we're here for part 2. I'm going to give you the last 5 rules of my top 10 list that everyone should think about when they're breaking up, when they're in a divorce. Okay, so we're going to kick it off with rule number 6. Stop diagnosing your ex to your ex. They probably are a narcissist. Your ex might actually have borderline personality disorder. Congratulations, you figured that out. Do you think you're going to convince them that they have a personality disorder? It's never going to work. Take that information about what you think they suffer from and apply it to your own case, your own strategy. And it doesn't mean that you're not right. It just means you're not going to get them to admit it. Why would they? When you're upset at someone and you're in a fight and they tell you everything that's wrong with you, are you in a listening posture? Are you really receptive to the feedback? No. So why would you expect your ex to do the same? Rule number 7 is a good one, and it's the subject of another video I did. It's a really good hack on communication. Think about your ex as living in Japan. When you consider that your ex and think about your ex as being in Japan or being in a really far away time zone, it minimizes your ability to communicate with them. You're going to have to solve things on your own without interference or discussion with your ex. This really sets you up for one of my other rules, which is that you have to start parallel parenting in a breakup. That's different than co-parenting. Everybody always talks about wanting to co-parent well after divorce, and that's fantastic when you're getting along. But if you're not getting along with your ex right now, it means that you're going to make decisions during your time within the rules of your divorce, and you're going to do it on your own. You're not going to communicate with them as much. Parallel parenting means you do what you have to do on your own time, and when the kids are in the other person's home for their time, you have to let it go. Lower your expectations. Your expectations are just an excuse for you to feel disappointed later. So when you consider parallel parenting, you free yourself up to make empowered decisions that are not contingent on the ex that you're fighting with. Rule number 9, stop misreading their cooperation. A lot of times my clients say, well, I wanted to communicate with them because we're not fighting all the time. Sometimes we're getting along and he or she has agreed to the things that I want to have happen on my ex's time. When you're in a divorce, especially with a narcissist, the only reason why they're cooperating with you is not for the reason that you think. It's not that they realize the error of their ways or they recognize your wisdom. They are cooperating with you for their own reasons. And most of the time, those reasons are self-interested. So they've figured out that it's good for them in some other way, separate from what you want, for them to cooperate with you. Stop misreading their cooperation as you're right, they're wrong, and they finally see the light years later in the middle of a divorce. And when you stop misreading their cooperation, then you can start following these top 10 rules and separating yourself and untangling yourself from that toxic communication. My last rule is really something that all divorce lawyers should be telling their clients, and that is prepare for a life after divorce. You're not going to have a judge making a decision in your case after divorce. You're not going to have a referee or an umpire or a mediator. You're not going to be able to call your divorce attorney up on a Saturday or a Monday. And hopefully you're not doing that anyways because it's very expensive. So when you prepare for a life after divorce, what you need to do is figure out, how does my lawyer assess all these questions that I have generally without a law license? What is she or he advising me to do? And how can I write that down and take that process into the future so that I don't need help all the time from other people and that I'm empowered to make my own decision? When you start thinking about the future post-divorce, sometimes you can lay down those swords. When you lay down the swords, you can start thinking about your better self, your improved version of yourself in the future, and probably be a better parent. Also, when you prepare for a life post-divorce, you spend less money because you need your attorney's legal advice less and less. And ultimately, at the end of the day, there's going to be a million decisions to make with your ex after divorce. And the more prepared you are for that, the better off you'll do. Hope this helps.